everyone, my name is Lindsay and today I'm going to be sharing with you some information about TENS machines, which can be a great way to help relieve pain during your labor. A TENS machine is a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation machine. It is a small battery operated device that uses low voltage electrical currents delivered through electrodes placed on the skin which stimulate your nerves. Now, what does this nerve stimulation do? Well, it's going to relieve pain in two different ways. The first way is by blocking or scrambling pain signals to your brain, also known as the gate theory of pain. Basically, it sends so many signals to your brain that most of the signals of pain coming from your contractions will not be able to get through to your brain, therefore making it seem less painful than it actually is. The second way it helps relieve pain is by releasing natural opioids in your body called endorphins. Endorphins are your body's natural opioids. They're peptide hormones produced in the brain that act as powerful pain relievers and mood boosters that are released due to the nerve stimulation, which creates feelings of pleasure. These help reduce pain, lessen stress, and make you feel happier. So these are your body's natural epidurals, because if you don't know, epidurals use a form of fentanyl, which is a type of opioid. And so basically by using a TENS machine, you can trigger your body to release its own natural opioids called endorphins. I want to talk about which machine you should get, what settings you should use, and how you use it during labor. So what TENS machine should you get? You can really get any TENS machine. There's a whole bunch out there. There's plenty on Amazon. You can buy them from different websites. One that's really highly recommended by a lot of people is called the Elle TENS. You can actually rent it or you can buy it. It is a little bit on the pricier side, so if you're looking for something that can get here super fast and is cheaper, there is one on Amazon, which I will link in the description or the comments or somewhere in this video. And that one I used worked really well. The difference between the one that's made for labor and the one that I got though is the Elle TENS is made for labor, so it comes with settings that are preset. There's a boost button on it, so once the contraction hits, all you have to do is press the boost button to make it go up with the contraction. So that's super nice. If you don't want to be thinking about something a lot, just hitting a button is super easy. With the Amazon one that I'll be linking, or with most other TENS machines, you're going to have to actively yourself turn up and down the machine with each contraction, and you're also going to have to preset the machine to the levels that it should be for labor. So just keep in mind which thing you would rather have. If you are someone who don't want to think about it a lot, I would definitely recommend the Elle TENS. But if you don't mind the distraction of turning it up and down, then I would get the Amazon one. The only thing with turning it up and down, I will say, is it's really hard to be accurate with how much you're turning each set of electrodes to be the same. So sometimes it might feel like one is stronger than the other, and it can be a little too distracting at times. But again, it really did help me, and I honestly liked the distraction of turning it up and down, kept my mind off the contraction. So if you'd rather have that, I highly recommend that. Let's talk about the settings. For the settings on the one I'm linking, I used high frequency. I used somewhere between 80 and 100 hertz, and then I used between 300 to 350 milliseconds for the pulse width. You're going to want to set these up in early labor. Once you have contractions coming and you're like, okay, I think this is starting to be like actual labor, you're gonna want to throw on your electrodes and start your TENS machine up, because it takes a while for your natural opioids or your endorphins to build up on top of each other. So the earlier you can start it, the better in your labor, just because it doesn't help as much if you throw it on in later labor when you're kind of needing those endorphins right there and then. So make sure you throw it on early labor. You're gonna put 2 at your bra line in your back, and then 2 kind of in the lower back area, as you can see in this diagram I'm putting up here. To use it in labor, what you're going to do is keep your TENS unit on a low hum, and once a contraction hits, you're gonna want to turn it up to a level that feels comfortable, but you can tell is blocking the signals from your contraction. You'll kind of get the hang of it as you go through. Once your contraction stops and backs off, turn it back down to a low hum to keep everything flowing and to just help kind of with your back pain too. If you have some back labor, it definitely helps with that. You're just gonna be turning up and down between each contraction. And then once it feels super annoying to you, you could take it off. Make sure though that you turn off your TENS unit entirely before you take the electrodes off, or it can shock you. The other precaution you need to know is do not use a TENS machine anywhere near water. So if you're going to be laboring in water for pain relief, you cannot use a TENS machine. And if you come out of water, like if you showered or were doing some water laboring and you decide you want to try your TENS machine, make sure you dry off super well, just because electricity and water do not mix well. You want to make sure you're not going to shock yourself, because that would be bad. The other thing I want to warn is make sure you have extra batteries, because I was not prepared for my machine to start flashing a dead battery sign in like the point when I was going to the birth center, and so I had to have someone run me a fresh battery, and thankfully my husband was able to swap out batteries between contractions and I never lost those endorphins that were building up. But just be wary of that can happen. Have plenty of batteries on hand, just in case you're going through a long labor. You're gonna probably need to switch batteries at some point since you have it on a low hum the whole time. And then the last thing I want to say is definitely check with your provider if you can use a TENS machine. Every pregnancy is different, every person is different. It can interact with different things in your body differently, so just make sure you check with your provider to make sure it is safe for you to use, or if there's any extra precautions you should be aware of. Personally, I loved using the TENS machine. It helped me a lot. With my first labor, I needed my husband there the whole time because I didn't have a TENS machine. He was doing counter pressure because I was having really bad back labor. This time around, I was able to eat some eggs. Like, I made myself eggs. My husband had time to pack. We had time to like message people together that I was going into labor. I was able to watch some funny YouTube videos and stuff to help get my oxytocin up even higher and get things moving faster. It allowed me to move through so many positions and do spinning babies to try and get my baby from sunny side up position to the correct position for delivery. I would highly recommend using a TENS machine for so many reasons. They're just so helpful, and if you have used them before, be sure to leave a comment with your experience with them. I'd love to hear whether or not it helped you. If you have any further questions, be sure to leave a comment below as well. And if you're interested in any other labor topics, you can ask a question below and I'll cover that, or just give a follow if you're interested in seeing some more labor content. I'll be sharing plenty, mainly from unmedicated things like home births and birth centers. I've never been to a hospital, so I don't have much experience there, but all of these tips I will be sharing can definitely help with hospital births as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Again, my name is Lindsay and I love labor, and I would love for you to follow along and learn some things alongside me. Have a nice day.